ahead and open up your language arts notebook and go to slide 12, whether that is through the index link or just scrolling. And we are going to go to types of sentences. Now you might be thinking, Ms. Jace, we already did types of sentences. We have simple sentences with a subject and a predicate. We have compound sentences, which are two sentences merged with a fanboy or a conjunction. We have complex sentences, which is a fragment and a complete sentence or a simple sentence merged together. And you'd be right. Those are types of sentences. But now we need to focus less on what is being said and more on how it's being said. What is the purpose behind it? There are 4 different types of sentences. There's a declarative sentence, an exclamatory sentence, an imperative sentence, and an interrogative sentence. Now, 2 of these are going to be slightly tricky because they both have the same punctuation. Those 2 would be a declarative sentence and an imperative sentence. So, a declarative sentence is when you are just declaring something. You are just saying a statement. Like, that book is red. Miss Jace has a drink. Diet Pepsi is the best. I'm just stating a sentence. It's not trying to do anything with it. I'm just letting you know. So, it is a statement about something that ends in a period. Go ahead and put that on the top. We are making a declaration, or we are declaring something. Now go ahead and look at the sentences to our right and see which ones are declarative, where we state something. We don't ask questions, we don't yell, we don't demand anything. We're just letting you know. Hopefully you have clicked, I have a black dog. And I turned in my report to the teacher. We're just letting people know. Don't need anyone to do anything, not have any purpose. We're just letting you know. We're declaring it. Now, whoopsie daisies. There's something called exclamatory, and I'm going to say headphone alert. You might want to turn down your volume. Exclamatory is when you explain something. So it's going to end with an exclamation point because you are so full of emotion. Oh my God! Watch out! There's a train! Happy birthday! So, and you might turn it back. But an exclamatory sentence is one that expresses emotion or excitement. And a real easy way to let you know is an exclamatory sentence ends with an exclamation point. Because you are so full of emotion that you're just letting everybody know. So, go ahead and look at the sentences. Which one is full of emotion or excitement? The hope is that you have picked, we won the game! And I can't believe she did that to you. Oh, that you said that to her. My bad. Because those are expressing intense emotions. Now, the imperative is another one of our tricky ones. Imperative sentences give commands. It is super important that something gets done when it's told. And it will end with a period. So an exclamatory sentence is a sentence that commands or tells someone to do something and ends with a period. Do your homework. Take out the trash. Go to sleep. Pick up that piece of paper. Walk the dog. Don't take that tone with me. Go ahead and look at the options of questions and see which one works best, which one gives a level of importance that you follow it. Hopefully, you have picked take off your hat. Please do not bring dogs into the store. That leaves interrogative. If you're interrogating someone, you're going to be asking questions. And those questions better have a punctuation mark of a question mark at the end. Some examples are, do you have a pet? Are you going to play soccer next year? Give you a few seconds to get that down. If you are still confused, there's a video that you might find interesting. We're going to move on to connotation and denotation on slide 13. Now, denotation, I always remember the D is the same as dictionary. Denotation, dictionary. Because a denotation is the dictionary definition of a word. For example, oh, I can't because it's right there. But definition for grill. It might be the thing that you cook steaks on and burgers on. That would be on a grill. But there's another meaning depending on how it is used in a sentence. If I'm talking about someone's grill, I could be talking about their mouthpiece. Connotation also can change meaning. For example, cheap and inexpensive mean the same thing. They both mean that it does not cost a bunch of money. However, one has a positive connotation and one has a negative connotation. So they have the same denotation, different connotations. For example, if I said, that looks cheap, it's negative. If I tell you my rent is inexpensive, that's positive. So, if the connotation and denotation are for these words need to be filled out, you were given one and you need the other. You get to pick whether it's positive or negative. So, if I tell you the connotation, I'm feeling blue today, that's a connotation. But what is the denotation, the dictionary definition of blue? So let's look it up. Define blue. It could be a color between green and violet. Or feeling sad, or depressed. They are two of this, those are two meanings. They are both the dictionary definition of blue, but we are choosing this one. The dictionary definition of sick is affected by physical or mental illness. Now, there are two ways we could do this. We could say something following that denotation, which would be, my brother feels sick today. But there's also the connotation, where if I said, that's so sick, I can't believe you did that. There's a different meaning behind that. Go ahead and do poison, denotation, and dirty, connotation by yourself. Try to find the different denotations and connotations that work together. Now, as always, there is a video to watch if you are confused. Hopefully it'll help. But we're going to move on to our last slide, which is slide 14. Now, the way you text your friends or you text your mom, oops, I realized this says tone, changes. The way you'll talk to your little sister and the way you'll talk to your teacher is hopefully different too. One of them, you might have a more formal tone, and one of them, you might have a more informal tone. So tone refers to how something is said or written. It conveys the attitude toward the topic to the audience. It can either be formal or informal. So a formal tone, just think of if I ask you to show up in formal wear, you're going to be kind of dressed up. You're going to be fancy. So the tone is serious. Your sentences are complete. You have correct grammar, and you do not contradict yourself. You don't use slang. This is probably what you'll talk to your teacher about, or if you have a job, you'll talk to your boss, or if you're in trouble, you should use it with your mom. Informal, the tone is casual. Sometimes you have incomplete sentences and a few grammatical errors. You can contradict yourself sometime and use some slang. It's kind of all right because informal is kind of just hanging around. You're not trying to impress anyone, just like, hey, here it is. So I've given you an informal paragraph. It reads, Leonardo da Vinci was like one of the most talented guys to ever live, or was like one of the most talented guy to ever live. He lived during the Renaissance time. He was a painter, did art, and was a scientist, a sculptor, and an inventor. People say his coolest inventions were his flying machines. He loved the idea that maybe someday people could fly. He loved to watch animals like bats fly. This totally influenced his idea about flying. Da Vinci's flying machines never actually flew, but they probably could have if he had been able to get them off the ground. Even still, Da Vinci was rad, and he was influenced by he has influenced many scientists and inventors today. I want you to take this paragraph, and I want you to make it formal. So make sure all your sentences are complete. Try to fix your grammar. Don't contradict yourself and don't use slang. Make sure it's serious. So take out words that you think are not serious and maybe replace them with more serious words. If you need help, there's always a video. I'll see you tomorrow.